Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik, and in this video I am sharing two cards I made with the brand new dies from Karen Burniston's spring release. If you follow me, you know I am a huge fan of interactive cards, and Karen's dies make those so easy to make, as I will show you in this video. The first of the two cards I made for this video is a Hello Sweet Summer card. When it is closed, this is what you see. Flip-flops, of course butterflies for summer, and a hello. And then when you open it, I'll show you from the top and then I'll show you this way. You have a sweet, sweet summer scene that pops up with some favorite summer treats. So there is a charm that hangs, that's an ice cream cone, popsicles, watermelon, sweet, sweet summer. So this part, this pivoting part, is on the front when it's closed, and then it pivots, and then the person that receives it will be able to stand it up like that and have hanging a summer scene. Here are the dies that I used to make this card. I used the Circle Charm pop-up in both the cards, and I'm going to show you how that one works. I used the Beach Charms die from the new release. I used the Sweet Treats Charms, and as you can see, you can choose to hang it with a brad or a jump ring, or you can just cut the charm part off and just use them as decorative elements. I used the Hello Summer and the Sweet, and then I used the Circles Crosshatch dies. In this release there are circles, squares, and rectangles, and I'm just loving these new dies. They're really decorative. They really add a fun element to circles or squares or rectangles. This is the card that I'm making for you in this video today, closed for mailing. Wishing you a happy, pretty floral element there. And again, when you open it up, you have a pivoting front window, you have a hanging element from the middle, and then these beautiful dies. I'm in love with the layering dies from Birch Press Designs, and I recently treated myself to a set called Kaleidoscope, and we'll be showing you how they layer so beautifully as shown here. So this is the large outer edge of that Kaleidoscope die, and then on the front I used the smaller inside piece, and I'll show you how that works. And then I have a set here, wishing you a happy Bloomin' birthday. I'm going to make a couple changes. I decided that birthday should be more centered, and I decided to say Bloomin' instead of blooming, and so I'm using an apostrophe in the card that I'm making today. And here are the supplies I used to make that card. Again, I'm using the Circle Charm pop-up die from Karen Burniston. I'm using the word set to Happy Birthday, and I said happy birthday. I'm using a couple flowers from the Flowers and Bee set to make the hanging element, and those are the two flowers from that and the happy birthday on a magnet. And then this is Wishing You A, which is a die from a memory box. These are the three layers of the Kaleidoscope Birch Press Design dies. I'm just loving all of their layered dies, and even if you just used one of them it would be beautiful, but when you layer all three together it's just gorgeous. And I used the Concord and 9th sophisticated script stamp set to write that word Bloomin'. Didn't have a die or a stamp that said that. With these you can say whatever you would like. We're going to start out with an A6 card cut out of thick white cardstock. It's 9 by 6 1/4, and it's scored and folded at 4 1/2. I cut the front pattern paper 4 1/4 by 6, and I attached it to the front of the card with adhesive only on the edges. So once again, I'm following Karen Burniston's video, and she gives you very good suggestions on exactly how to work with her dies, and she suggests putting the pattern paper or whatever layered paper on the front. And then I just went ahead and added the wishing you a happy because you don't need to watch me die cut or glue on anything that's unnecessary. Now the this part of the die, she says you're going to put this right up to the center, and then you're going to put this, attach it down, and then you're going to run it through your machine a couple times because you're cutting through the cardstock and the pattern paper on the front. And then once you do that, you can remove these pieces, and I can feel that there's some stickiness there, so I'm going to, from that tape, get rid of that with my adhesive remover. She suggests then you could leave that pattern paper on there or not. I find it easier, and so did she, to trim it off. So we're going to just, I'll get that neater in a second. So I'm going to trim that along that circle. Try to keep it nice and neat. So this is the pivoting circle that is going to pivot to be in the front of the card. So between my adhesive remover and my mono sand eraser from Tomboy, if you have any goobers of any kind, you can usually get both of them off with those, and I highly recommend them. Okay, I have cut out 2 of this die that has little tabs here, and I also cut out another one, and I removed the tabs on that one, and I've placed the flower using invisible thread. Karen used fishing line, right? But I didn't have any, but I did have invisible thread, so that you have what seems to be just a hanging element in there. I cut it out twice, and put one on the front and one on the back with pearls, and got that ready. And then what Karen suggests to do is that you fold it this way, and you lay this down with the tab so that you can see that this is going to line up perfectly, and then you push this down and attach it. Again, I have a little goober on there. That's what I call them. And then she says to, okay, next we were going to attach this before we do the next part. So this is the 3 layers of the Kaleidoscope flower, and I put one of them together, but I did want to show you how these go together so easily. So you can just line up these in and out parts of the center, and then you see the bottom layer, the medium, and then the top layer. So they're very easy to use, and I find them just beautiful. So So once again, we're going to just line up the center parts so that they line up. And you know those outside pieces are supposed to line up too, so it looks like I did get it a little off. Let's do that again. There we go. I wasn't paying attention to those. I was paying attention to the center. But you do want to line up those outer pieces too, and then it will be lined up perfectly. And this is, you have A, B, and C layers. And they're really beautiful enough to just use one, but when you layer all three with a series of colors, whether they be rainbow colors, or in this case I did a light, medium, and dark purple, they're just really gorgeous. So once again, paying attention to the in and out of the center, and then also the outer pieces. You have a beautiful layered floral element. What we're going to do now is line this up so that it is centered on that front. So you can see that it's centered. I think I'm just going to use a tape runner. There's enough. And then we're going to fold this down like that. And then you know that that's placed where you want it. And then this one is, I think I put the tape on the wrong side. Yeah, I did. I better take it off. Yeah, because we're supposed to do that and then lay that back down on that. So I put the tape on the wrong side. No problem. And then we're closing this on that. And your centerpiece is ready, and it also is having that pivoting front. Now this part here is going to kind of be covered up when we put this on, so I cut another layer A out of the dark purple. And I have links to all the products that I'm using in the description box, including this fine tip bottle and glue, which is also sold at Karen Burniston's website. And I use it all the time. So we're placing that in there, which covers up a little bit of that tab. And then I kept one of the light purple flowers that came out, and I'm going to put that in the center. And see how pretty that is? And I'll go ahead and finish this side, which is adding, you know, I was supposed to stamp all that first though. Well, we can do it. I was going to do my stamping before I put in all that other stuff in there, but I think I can do it. I have all the letters for Bloomin. And that's the G though. I'm gonna find the B and be right back. So when I decided to switch from the G to the apostrophe, I had put the B back instead of the G. They looked very much like it. I've started the word so you don't have to watch the whole thing, but as you can see, it's very easy to line these up and make it look like you have really nice writing. And so I'm saying Bloomin', have a happy, happy Bloomin' birthday. Okay, now make sure our hands do not have any ink on them. I am going to attach this hanging element to that other circle. Oop. Okay, so that flower will float in there. And then I have the smaller flower from the inside of this, again layered with a dark medium and light purple papers. And I am going to attach that in the front circle that is pivoting, so you see it from the front and the inside of the card when it is opened. Yuck. I think that leather-like material that I use doesn't really work all that well with that glue, or maybe it just takes more patience than I have. And then we're going to add a purple flower in the center of that. And for the finishing touch, we're going to clean up a few more blue spots here and add some pearls. So the card closes. I also use some pearls on to dot the eyes there. Wishing you a happy, happy. And then it opens and you have a pivoting front piece and a floating center, and have a happy, happy Bloomin' birthday with some gorgeous layered flowers. I love this card. I hope these two cards inspired you to try some of Karen Burniston's great pop-up dies and Birch Press Designs layering dies. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.